Hey, I'm CDiinky. Grounded is a really fun game. Everyone enjoys it, but of course there are going to be some flaws inside of the game's code. Now, today we are going to be looking at the bad Steam reviews that people have put onto Grounded, and basically going to see if it's justified or not. Now, this video is not going to focus on the multiplayer negative reviews, because if you look at the negative reviews for Grounded, like 95% of them are like multiplayer issues, and as a solo player who has no friends and can't play multiplayer, I just can't review these at all. Now, also to mention, I have over 750 hours of Grounded, and I have loved every single second of it, but today I'm not going to be biased at all in any of the negative Steam reviews. It's just going to be if it's true or not. Now let's jump straight into the first review, saying not a good sense of progression, early game was very hard and end game felt easy. Not the kind of balancing I look for in a game, 1 out of 5 stars. Now honestly, this seems like normal game progression. Obviously, in a survival game, the very beginning is going to be extremely tough because like you have nothing. You need to build your way up to the very top. So I would like to assume in the early game it is going to be difficult, and then in the end game, you've done everything, you've got all the best gear, it should be easy for you. Now granted, of course it does have this, but there are also some of the optional bosses in the game which even with the best gear can be still quite difficult, such as the Mantis boss fight and especially the infected Broodmother. And also not to mention that New Game Plus is also a thing. If you think that the normal game end game is way too easy, if you jump into New Game Plus, the game's difficulty is going to be like basically difficult from beginning to end no matter what. Worst game for 100% completion. I'm gonna be honest, Grounded 100% does actually suck. Getting it is quite challenging, getting all the milk molars, getting all the data, getting all the analyze everything. It is definitely a feat, but that's what 100% challenges are. And now I do know that the 100% is bugged, like for some people, like sometimes you can't get 100%. And it's also quite confusing when the devs keep changing how to get 100% in Grounded. Like they had 100% for all the gold cards, that's been reverted. For some reason, you do not need all the mutations for 100%. They've also changed that all of like the optional New Game Plus weapons and like recipes, you don't need those as well. It's quite confusing, so I 100% agree with this comment. This game has gotten better over the years. Me and someone else played together and we are on the easiest difficulty, and it is still so hard to figure out what to do or where we are going. We need better gear and weapons to fight the things we need for better gear, and to get the better gear we need to fight those things and we can't kill them. It's so off-putting, and if you're looking for a relaxed game, this is not it. After 8.8 hours, we barely have a house with some crafting or smithing materials inside, blah blah blah. Even on the lowest difficulty, you'll end up dying and having to run 5 minutes to get back your items. It is not helpful, the storyline quests are very bland and non-informative. You'll wonder where to go and not what to do. Okay, this is a chunk of a message to go ahead and start deciphering. Basically, if you're playing on the lowest difficulty of the game and you're still struggling, I'm just gonna have to say skill issue, to be honest. Like, if you're not using the weaknesses that the bugs have and you're using like what they're resistant to, obviously you're not going to be dealing any damage. And I don't even think Grounded's that hard on mild difficulty. They've made the game so easy, so like even the most casual of casual players can beat the game on mild difficulty. And now needing to run 5 minutes to collect your backpack, you can also just go ahead and make a lean-to. It's just extremely cheap, just a few sprigs and a couple clovers. Place that bad boy down and you can set your spawn point near the boss or bug you want to fight, so you don't need to walk 5 minutes. And I do agree that Grounded has some like blanks in the story where to go and what to do, and of course it's a survival game. You're meant to go ahead and explore the backyard on your own and just learn as you go. You're not meant to have some like quest marker pinpoint you to the exact location and just like speed run through the entire game. But Grounded has gotten better over the years. I remember back in the hedge lab, everyone was so confused how to get there. There's a small tiny paperclip you're meant to get up, and they've now changed it to giant gardening shears. They've made it a lot easier, but like for the upper yard, if you're playing this long, just explore the backyard. I hate the parkour part in this game. Now, when I read this Steam review, I got kind of confused thinking, what parkour could they possibly be talking about? Because I don't remember there being any parkour in like the main story. And then I remembered the Stump Lab. And if you've never been inside the Stump Lab, you are extremely lucky, because still to this day, I still find it painful to parkour through the entire lab. But if you do know how to parkour, you can actually go ahead and scale some places where you're actually not meant to. For example, you can go ahead and parkour up into the Moldorc Highlands, like when you first start a game and fight a Black Widow if you really wanted to. You can also use grass blades to scale into the sandbox without need to go inside of the Black Ant Lab and doing all that maze. You can go ahead and use grass planks to scale all your way up into the upper yard without need to build or use a Brat Burst to break open the upper yard ascent rock. Unfortunately, this game is too grindy and too frustrating. The weapons and armor are so weak, everything takes forever. ever. Literally. Now, I don't want to assume anything, but I believe this Steam user forgot the existence of marble and quartzite, the upgraded materials to upgrade your weapons and armor, because I even did it on my very first playthrough. I had no idea upgrade rocks even existed. I completed the entire game with a level 1 gear and armor, and I thought it was difficult, until I realized that you can upgrade my gear, and I felt really stupid. But I do agree, the game is super grindy when it comes to the upgrade rocks. Once you mine the upgrade rocks in the backyard, they don't respawn ever again, and you're going to need to farm bug parts to craft them again. So if you go ahead and upgrade like different and random bits of gear, it is going to be difficult when you like try and upgrade something you really want. So I completely agree with that, but also just strategizing and synergizing your weapons and armor is definitely going to help you out a lot. You're not going to rock the B armor with a red ant club. It's a great game until you have to do the Java-matic event. I'm not going to waste more of my time building an entire city around those things to protect them. I wish developers actually cared about solo players. Well, to be honest, the Java-matic is the final mission of the game. It is going to be the most challenging, and of course, the more builds and more defenses you put around these things, the easier it's going to be. And not to mention, you basically get a free defense in the Java-matic storage facility. I'm not sure if they went down there, but you can build a decent amount of walls and some acorn turrets and some pupa like floors to defend quite well. And it's not so much they don't care about solo players, they actually do, and it actually is easier if you play solo compared to multiplayer. In multiplayer there are a lot more bugs and more things to focus on, and solo it is quite easy, let's be honest here. Black Widows are only weak to Sour. Only Sour weapon in the game comes after beating the final robot boss, many such cases of this game's overly delicate balancing act. Okay, he's not wrong, Black Widows are weak to Sour damage, and yes, the Sour weapon, the Sour Battle Axe or Acid Edge, is the best weapon in the game and is held behind like the quote-unquote final boss of the game for the story anyway. But did the user know about the elemental upgrades, fresh, spicy, salty, and sour? Because you can upgrade your weapons down any of these paths to give it that elemental effect. So if you want it to deal sour damage, so it's weak to the Black Widow, go ahead and upgrade a weapon down the sour path. And it's not like upgrading these weapons down the sour path is a terrible decision, because they do deal a ton of damage to the Black Widow, and there's actually no downside to upgrading your weapon down sour, as there's no bug resistant to it in the backyard. There's only positives, no negatives. And it's not like you need a weapon for a bug's weakness anyway. It's going to help you find them for sure, but it's not 100% needed. Trash. Yep, I don't know what you want to say. 21 hours, trash. They went down into the trash heap, I guess. Good review. Does not support any Bluetooth headset. He posted this on Christmas. He might have gotten a Bluetooth headset for Christmas, but I don't think that's Grounded's fault, because I rock a Bluetooth headset and mine works completely fine, so at least one works. But I don't think you should be blaming Grounded for that. The boss fight in the Black Anthill turned the game from a builder survival to Dark Souls. Now let's be real. Our very first time doing this boss fight, we were not expecting this difficulty jump with the laser pylons and the like shocking pylons on the edges. But for me, this is the turning point in Grounded where it like becomes more serious. It's not just, oh, you fighting a bug and blocking its attacks. It's now you fighting bugs and also need to worry about your surroundings to survive. And I honestly think this is like the best way to put it. Throwing you down in the deep end, surprising you, while you're also going to need to change your pair of underwear. Really boring. Normally, I really love survival crafting games, but this one is just meh. Well, if you have 0.7 hours, not even a full hour of playtime in the game, I'm pretty sure you've like not even rescued Burgle at this point. Honestly, let's all be real, this review is just kind of pointless, but if you've got like such low hours in the game, not even over like 3 hours or something like that, yeah, like, I don't know what you want me to say, just play the game for a bit longer. Like, you've barely even scratched the surface of Grounded's full potential. But that there is going to be the end of today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. I did enjoy scrolling through the hundreds of negative Steam reviews. It was quite fun picking up the ones I really enjoyed reading. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and heck, even comment down below. I would really appreciate that. And I will catch you guys in the next video.